Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Bedomy and this is Starcraft Mass Recall, a remake of the original Starcraft and its subsequent expansions in the Starcraft 2 level editor. And welcome again to another episode of... I forgot the name of the mission. But I didn't forget the mission objective and my promise to all of you. We will analyze the map of the area and discuss how it works right after we defend our base and take over the enemy colony. And if this attack wave starts anything, we should do it sooner rather than later. So the invasion force will move in and destroy the enemy colony. While the tanks are sieging up and preparing to strike, the ground forces will run around to distract the enemy and reveal the terrain. And draw the enemy into the tank's range if they need to. Okay, there's not many enemies in the area, and now I just feel like an idiot for overestimating them. But we do need an expansion, so... Finish it up, people! Chop chop! Why did I even say that? Well, I thought it would be funny, and that's about it. I really need to think things through before I do them or say something. And after that awkward segue, let's talk about the level design! Or more accurately, try saying that 3 times fast, the design of this map.
Base is under attack.
Right after we deal with the Zerg wave. Go on, get out of here, sentient blisters! Oh, fickle matter, more of them are on the way. But this serves as a good example of a smart level design. Just to disclaim, I have played this mission a couple of times in order to prepare for this video, but let's pretend this is our first try. So the mission begins, and we land our command center near the mineral field. As we do that, we notice there's something missing. The Vespian Geyser. The second resource we need to operate the base properly. So we scout the area to find one, and discover 2 important facts. 1. Our island is connected to another island by a single bridge. And 2. The island has a very exposed coast. And since we didn't encounter any aquatic units, an air attack is a very big possibility. And as a commander with several battles under his belt, you make preparations for the incoming assault. And you do all of that under a span of 2 minutes. You don't know when the enemy will come, but you know which direction he has to take in order to get to you. So you scrunch the area and prepare for the incoming assault. And then a massive air raid comes in and destroys most of your defenses. But that's beside the point. The point is, you're given all the necessary information from the level's layout. There are no glowing markers on the map that tell you where the enemy will strike and at what time. You need to figure that on your own. And the map is simply there to give you the clues. But that's only the part of the formula. For what is a level without a challenge? A boring walk through the park, and nothing more. That walk needs substance, something that will make it memorable. And the obstacles you encounter during that walk are the substance. For example, if you sat me down in front of an old Doom level and told me to find the secrets, I would find most of them rather quickly. That's because most of the levels stayed in the back of my head. Not only were they designed in a way that would make it easier for me to memorize and navigate, but they were also populated with enemies that forced me to move and explore. I could have simply finished the level with just a pistol and a shotgun, but where's the fun in that? By exploring the level, I learned how my enemies behaved, where the more powerful weapons can be found, and more importantly, which shortcuts to use. While I am aware that Doom and Starcraft are not the same genre of games, they do have some very big similarities when it comes to gameplay. You still need to know the map's layout, enemy and resource placement, and enemy behavior. Even the timing is important. Should I fight the angry little cheaters in the open, or should I find some high ground and get an even greater taste of their plot armor? I'm serious. No matter what I do, the Zerg will always have an answer for everything. You spend a fortune on creating the defenses for your base, but suddenly the Zerg discover another entrance and waltz right in. Or you get a brand new unit or ability, and 5 minutes in...
No, you can't use that on us anymore. We have evolved.
This is understandable lore-wise, but when it happens in the game, it's rather frustrating. Don't pretend this didn't happen at some point. You're moments away from finishing a very frustrating mission, and suddenly a very special Zerg shows up and destroys everything you have. Or you have to run towards the exit while being chased by a bunch of enemies. Only to discover that the exit is also blocked off by a bunch of enemies. but I digress.
Not enough minerals.
We should focus on finishing this mission. So let's see what the listening posts can reveal. So far, so good. There aren't many defenses in place, so we can just waltz in with a couple of raids and destroy them. Never mind, we'll have to go in with the ground forces.
Go ahead, Commander.
The orange base is coming in to attack us, and I have no idea how many raids we'll lose in this fight.
Standing
So
by.
after this is over, we'll see what the plan is. We will continue producing troops, but will they be ready before the attack commences? I have no
Not
idea.
enough minerals.
We will have a better idea of the situation once the listening post is recharged. And I think we have enough energy for one more scan.
Not enough
Nothing.
energy.
They must have moved somewhere else. But where exactly? The refinery? No, that's clear. Where are they?
Roger that.
Ah, there they are. I was worried for a second. If a massive horde of Zerg just retreated from our doorstep, it only meant that something bigger was coming. But it seems they just took a different route. Which is odd, because the enemy AI usually takes a direct route towards us. If I were to hazard a guess, I would say that the Zerg tried to get out of the scanner's range, which is something I would expect from a human opponent.
Coordinates received.
AI opponents usually ignore it and continue on with their business.
Roger that.
But this is actually nice. If the enemy is adapting to our spying attempts, this might turn into a very challenging mission.
Orders received.
Or, more logically, we simply reached a loop in the game's program. To be more precise, we reached a certain condition.
Minerals.
For those of you unfamiliar, a loop is a set of objectives that the program fulfills while a certain condition is or isn't met. For example, Hatchery A and B attack human colony. If human colony isn't destroyed in 5 waves, Hatchery C attack human colony. Mind you, this is a very basic example. I haven't practiced programming in a while, so I am pretty rusty.
Not enough
But this is the
energy.
general idea, and I hope it was understandable for everyone. And I also hope my professor won't see this. But if you are watching this, sir, I am really sorry. I am catching up with everything as I'm making videos. And if anybody knows a good tutorial I can watch, please let me know in the comments. Now then, let's try focusing on finishing this mission once and for all. And here is how we will do it.
Channel open.
The raids will go in and clear the way for a strike team. The strike team will focus on destroying the nerve center while the raids provide aerial support. Namely, they'll destroy overlords and fight off the mutalisks.
Yes, sir.
We'll have to do this quickly, because the Zerg will come out of the woodworks the moment we even sneeze at the nerve center.
Two, sir.
Don't you hate it when that happens? You make preparations for everything, and start executing a plan, only to be stopped or distracted by a scripted event. And not some minor event, but a full-blown, we are here to pad out the time as much as possible type of event.
Not enough minerals.
Sometimes you get a new ability or equipment out of it, but it's usually some gimmick you will forget about in 5 minutes. Alright, maybe not 5 minutes, but it will be dropped, or you will forget about it, or there will be some contrived reason that will stop you from using it.
Coordinates received.
It wouldn't be so frustrating if the scripted event was actually fun.
Bring it on.
In general, they just turn into holdout sections and oh boy. No. Oh, how many of them are there, and how the hell can they see me? Probably because of that turret over there, but I'm pretty sure I'm out of its range.
Locked in.
We know that the overlords are incapable of revealing cloaked units, so I'm guessing it's that I am an idiot. Overlords can detect in Starcraft 1. The Overseers detect in Starcraft 2. I am sorry for the mix-up. I have been playing Starcraft 2 a lot recently, so I'm subconsciously making connections.
All right.
Base is under attack.
Well, connections wouldn't be the best term for this. Maybe assumptions would be more correct. In any case, I forgot that some units had different abilities in StarCraft 1, and I'm really sorry about that. Now then, since we have some time before the base is repaired and final preparations are complete, let's review the story so far. We started off our story as the Confederate Magistrate of Marsara, which was subsequently overtaken by the Zerg and then destroyed by the Protoss warships. Which just goes to show, no matter where humanity goes, politics will follow and destroy everything. Or be responsible for the general destruction. I'm serious.
Not enough minerals.
Instead of wasting time on Sons of Korhal and other rebel groups, the Confederacy should have focused on researching the Zerg and finding ways to counter them. Granted, they did have the Jacobs installation that was focused on research. but they were probably sabotaged by Mengs and his followers, and then raided by us and Raynor.
Minerals.
Because of that, we managed to obtain data files that enabled us to create a Psy-emitter, a device capable of luring the Zerg to its location in vast numbers. But before any construction of the device could begin, our new base on Antigua Prime had to be secured, and thanks to local populace, it was. With the Confederates gone and Antigua Prime secured, the Sons of Korhal began constructing their Psy-emitter. Unfortunately, the Confederates weren't too happy about losing one of their colony worlds, so they decided to send one of their brightest military minds to reclaim it. But the said military mind was preoccupied with the Zerg threat, so they turned to the second, then the third, fourth, and eventually got to General Duke, who got defeated before he could even land on the planet. To be fair, he was defeated by the Zerg that were attracted by our Psy-emitters, so we did rescue him, and then recruited him, which is something most of us are regretting at this point. Namely, everyone who isn't Mengs. And that's only because Duke has the information we need to defeat the Confederacy. It's certainly not his service record. Let's be honest, without the player present, the General couldn't beat a common cold. Seriously, in every mission he was in, he relied on us to get the job done, or we had to beat him up, whichever came first. And now he's here with us, complaining and acting like he's superior, even though we saved him from certain death. You would think that the guy would learn some humility by then. In any case, Duke joined our ranks, and shared some rather valuable secrets with us. Confederate secrets. And among those secrets were the Confederate communication codes, which allowed us to monitor Confederate communication and learn that they were planning a massive attack on Antigua Prime. Since we didn't have enough manpower to defend ourselves, we decided to use the Psy-emitter to summon the Zerg and destroy the Confederates. And now we are here, acting as bait for the Zerg so that the people of Antigua Prime can escape. And at this point, when the odds are stacked against us, and death can be seen approaching, I feel nothing but pride and gratitude. For I am honored to serve with such brave men and women, who are willing to sacrifice their lives for others. So without further ado, let us depart for the field of battle, right after we get the game working again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize for the sudden skip, but the game crashed in the middle of the recording and I didn't save, so I had to reload the game and get back to this spot. Only to discover another wave of Zerg incoming, so I had to stop everything to defend myself. So now we will continue from the landing section and just roll with it. As you can see, this mission required the heavy usage of air units. So if you're planning on playing this on your own, I recommend you expand as soon as possible. The rates are expensive, but well worth the resources if you manage them properly. And also consider your timing, because the window of opportunity for an attack on this mission is a very small one. You're constantly under attack by the enemy, so you have to play defensively. Luckily, the Zerg will attack only one base at a time, and they will continue to attack the same base until it's destroyed. So you can use the expansion to build an army, and then crush them in one fell swoop.
Go ahead, Commander.
Go ahead, HQ. Buckle
Hopefully, our current forces should be enough to deal with the Zerg threat.
Reporting in. Transmit coordinates.
Your forces are under
If they manage to land, that is. And it looks like they did, so press on and destroy the nerve center. The dropships will retreat and transport reinforcements if need arises, but I think our current forces are more than sufficient. The raids are drawing the enemy fire and our ground forces will just destroy the nerve center, as well as the enemy production. If they manage to get up the ramp, that is. There aren't many enemies in the area, but if one of them has an AoE attack, we're in trouble. It's nothing we cannot fix, but I would like to avoid the problem if I can. Just take a look at how many raids we have left. I wanted to finish this mission as quickly as possible, so I pushed them in, right in front of enemies' anti-air units. And my original plan went to waste. Now I have to use all my forces on the island to destroy the nerve center and run away before the Zerg return. Or I could try to transport all my forces to the island and take out the Zerg there.
not enough minerals.
Or I can just pull back and relax because the mission's over.
We kicked those Zerg's butts, but don't start patting yourselves on the back just yet. I picked up a whole new load of Zerg signals coming straight for us.
Yeah, just what we need. How many are out there, Dookie?
Well, more than we can handle.
Great.
I second that emotion, sir. But let's be positive. We did set up the necessary defenses beforehand, so we should be able to survive.
Reporting in.
Whoa, they're all over me.
Unless the enemy decides to show up off map. We're dead. I can understand this from a narrative standpoint, but I'm still angry. You cannot simply spawn an army on top of someone else's base from the edge of the map. It's a very cheap, not to mention scummy way of defeating the player for the sake of the plot.
Base is under attack.
Just take a look at the upper left portion of the map. It's not revealed. There were no hints or incentives to explore the area, and if the Zerg forces were spawned from that location, nobody would complain. It would provide a decent challenge for the player, and if he lost, he could only blame himself, or herself, and then try again, and again, and again, until success. But if you remove that challenge, the player will stop playing out of frustration or boredom, and that might affect your game negatively. And not only in reviews and sales, but reputation as well. Bad reputation means less exposure and lower sales. But then again, Electronic Arts is still in business, so who am I to talk? In any case, our base is safe and the nerve center is gone. Now we just have to transport our troops and buildings to the island on the right, and we might survive this. At least until someone comes to pick us up. And speak of the devil!
Commander, I have an incoming transmission from the Protoss flagship Gantrathor. I'll patch it through.
Oh, man. What the hell do they want? Stay alert, people. These guys play hardball.
Rock and roll.
Terran Commander, I am Tassadar, High Templar and Executor of the Protoss Fleet. I come bearing no ill will towards you or your brethren. I have watched your battle with the Zerg, and stand ready to aid you in your struggle against them.
Wow. Well, hell, the more the merrier.
Oh, this is going to be... My name has been Bedomy. Thank you very much for watching and good night.